to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Pascal, Odile, Hugo, and Geoffrey for hosting and setting up this last minute conference. I'm going to take the opportunity that I have to represent Florian Bouchon, whom I work with, to discuss about the new generation of winemakers that are facing actually many stakes in Bordeaux, especially post-Parker area, and I found it very interesting to link this with the local industry atmosphere. So first of all, I wish to present myself. My name is Caroline. I am close friend from Florian Bouchon, first of all, and a winemaker apprentice on Fridays, because he teaches me a lot on how he's making about his winemaking techniques, and we share about future projects at the vineyard, being very market oriented. So basically, I'm the export manager of Chateau Ferrer, and here I'm in charge of the export sales, the vineyard business development, marketing and communication, customer support, which is my main area, and then innovation and the novelties that we want to make every year at the vineyard. So in this presentation, I will make an introduction about the post-Parker era in Bordeaux and the stakes for the new generations. Then I will talk, of course, about Florian Bouchon, a self-made winemaker and enologist. Then I will discuss our vineyard, our very special terroir we have here in Pujol, our environmental friendly engagement, and then, of course, why we are all here for, the wines. So Chateau Ferrer, a range of wine, and the novelties Le Petit Bouchon, which is a sulfate-free original range of gems. So to start with this introduction, I would say that there has been one period that has been very decisive here in Bordeaux, and that shaped the actual market. We will see is the Robert Parker flourishing year from 1982 to 2014. At that time, fine wines from Bordeaux and the Rhone Valley were very prosperous because it was his favorite vineyards. And 19 points or so could mean instant success for any winery. Financial success, sure, because the price could rise up spectacularly. For example, with the 2009 vintage that he re-evaluated 2 years later, for Smith Olafite, it was such a phenomenon that we could see here in Bordeaux, and it reinforced the Grand Cru Classé family, the primeur exercice and the négociant speculation all around, and from 1982 to 2012, the estimated increase of Bordeaux Grand Cru Classé prices was up to 700%. So it's absolutely crazy, in my opinion, and it really shaped what Bordeaux is today in the consumer's spirit too. So in the meantime, here producers wanted to make Parker style wines. It is said that he had a particular taste for balanced, oaky, extracted wines with a sweetness profile, so alcoholic profile, kind of high. And Bordeaux bashing, to which we are really struggling against now as the new generation, really started there. And it partly comes from the raise of prices and the standardization of Bordeaux wines in the year 2000s. But still, I am here to tell you, and you might know that, of course, that Bordeaux has an incredible variety of terroir, from the soil to the microclimates and to the winemaker's character. So there will be soon, we know, a grand pas boom that is going to happen in Bordeaux, and a few young winemakers are actually willing to take over their parents' plot, especially in our region in Bordeaux, because it's quite difficult to make our wine a high value of our wines. Consequently, the offer might diminish in the future and show greater quality. And Florian Bouchon is really believing in that. And as the new generation, he believes so. So we are making everything possible to shape that future. So what young generation also means new wine profile. So young generations are keen for younger wines for the authenticity. They're really into the storytelling over the producer and vintage. I could really feel that when I go on the field and I meet with them. And they are really following buying trends, and it's the social medias, maybe influence that is really, really obvious here. They want also professional recommendations, and they pay so much attention to the palate and expertise of those who sell wines. And we believe that post-Parker, you importers and agents and winemakers represented, you have recovered your prescription powers. As points are no more driving sales, but are still a factor, of course. There are many wine bloggers that are broadcasting everywhere on the Instagram, on the internet. There are many influencers, many journalists, but no one really significantly took the lead after Robert Parker. Of course, there are the few names that I put in my presentation: Suckling, Galloni, Tim Atkin, Robinson, Jacques Perrin, Jacques Dupont, and the Decanter, who are very important, but there is not one that significantly took the lead in orienting the market very easily with like a note. So to the wineries and to the négociants, it's now a matter of leading up our partner to representing our vineyard and to support your sales. So we took it at Chateau Ferrer the challenge in direct here in Bordeaux. So you must know that Bordeaux global sales are 75% handled by La Place de Bordeaux, and only 25% are direct sales. We choose that challenging, sure, but that path, because we believe it can allow us to high evaluate our products way more by having direct contacts with all of our partners, by passing our authenticity, really our history. All of our partners know about our novelties, about the harvest. They come, they meet with us, and with this, thanks to this, we build really strong and long-term partnerships. That's really how we want to work. We also have a better knowledge of the markets because, as I said, for example, I travel a lot to meet with my customers and theirs. So I get the feedback, and I work directly with Florian, so we're very flexible on what we hear about the market. We know our customers, and we can enable transparency and traceability to our partners. So this is really what we are into with our direct sales process. Now, Florian is 31 years old, and he really wants to make wine for his friends, so for the new generation. So in that sense, we are really in this new era of new wine profile that I will be happy to present you a little bit later. So here is the winemaker, Florian. We will talk about him now. So Florian is a self-made enologist and winemaker. His father and his uncle are both winemakers. His uncle follows him a lot on actual project, but it is true to say that they didn't have quite the same point of view on the winemaking processes, in the sense that he wanted to make some original stuff, and they've been working since ever on their plot, and it wasn't quite the best way to work together. Not every story in Bordeaux are about very close families. So he made himself. He studied in enology in France, and when he became an enologist, he went to New Zealand to work there as a winemaker, and he came back with a great ambition. He was at the head of production in two great vineyards in southwest of France, Domaine de Billet and Brumont. So he vinified Montus, as you may know, for 3 vintages. And in December 2013, his uncle, the winemaker, told him about this beautiful spot in Pujol, which is the childhood village of Florian's mother, that was headed by a couple of winemakers that really wanted to change their life and to sell their estate to a young winemaker and not to a big company. because it's a very beautiful spot we have now. So he decided from one day to another to buy his estate, believing really that it had a great potential. And for 5 years, he worked really hard to creating great wines and to engaging himself into eco-friendly, but I will talk about it later, eco-friendly way of working. And in 2019, when I arrived in the vineyard, at that same year, because of his investments and hard work, he won the first prize of a local prize that is the agricultural dynamics. So as an entrepreneur, so he was really proud of it. And now at 31, his ambition is to fight against Bordeaux bashing and to show that we can make great wines also near Castillon-la-Bataille. So why did he choose this particular domain? So Château Ferrer, we have, so it's 31 hectares of that are planting on, you can see on the video, I hope it works for you, on very beautiful high hills. And we have a special soil here. It's deep down is clay limestone, but on the above, there are thousands and thousands of silex, flints, I guess we say in English. And it's quite rare because like around us, there is no. And the only place we know that they have is near Sauternes. There are some. And it's really, really great to have those rocks everywhere because it can catch the light and catch the temperature and spread it all over the vineyard so that we have homogeneous temperature and thus homogeneous maturity everywhere. So this is a really, really great stuff that we have at the vineyard. And in the middle of our vines, there is a gigantic sequoia, which became our symbol. We do not have any castle, but we have this giant tree that stands out for our core values, which are originality, solidity, and ambition. Yeah, so here you can see our symbol and the logo of our winery, and maybe understand a bit more about its origins. So here is a cartography of the vineyard. You can see that we have planted Merlot, Cabernet Franc, a little of Cabernet Sauvignon, and for the whites, Sauvignon Blanc and Sémillon that we are now using to create for our last novelty, Le Petit Bouchon. I will talk about it later. So about our environmental friendly engagement. So it has been very important since the beginning for Florian to start within an environmental friendly with environmental friendly techniques. So he started with agriculture raisonnée, that I believe we say in English responsible farming, and little by little he converted the entire property. In 2009 and 19 we were labelized high environmental value, and since we are into conversion to organic farming, so we will be officially labelized in 2021. So now let's talk about the wines, Château Ferrer. Why do they represent well the new generations? We like to say that we have wines for all palates and all wallets. So the first wine that I wish to present is our Bordeaux, Château Ferrer, that has been multi-awarded since the first vintage. Here I put the last vintage awards, but 2019 starts to be well awarded too here in France and also in Brussels. So the grapes variety are it is made out of Merlot, Cabernet Franc, and Cabernet Sauvignon. So quite traditional blend, though we like to say that this is a young and easy to drink wine. We really wanted to make it that way. We don't put any wood on it, and it's really fruity and generous. So the young generation really appreciate it, and it's cheap for any young person looking for an easy to drink wine. For example, here in France, we can find it at 6.50 euros. 6 euros 50. So it's a cheap and very well done and easy to drink wine. So yeah, a very high price quality ratio on this one. I am proposing the 2019 vintage because we will have 6,000 cases, because the 2018 is almost all sold out. So, but I will be keeping 6,000 cases for the United States and Canada, and I believe it could really work well there. And there was an American buyer who told me that the label was very interesting, especially for the West Coast, because the sequoia is also a symbol that you can find in California. So she told me there were a great opportunity there. So I am waiting for the Californian importer to have it. I'm saying here about the tasting and the food pairing and storage. So as I said, it's a wine that may be consumed promptly for amateur of young and powerful wines, and it shall attain its age of maturity in 4 years or so, but promptly is really fine. Second wine that I like to say is the main wine of Château Ferrer, because it's the first one that Florian ever vinified, is called Château Ferrer Bellevue. Bellevue in French means beautiful sight, and the grapes are selected from the highest plot of the high hills that we saw on the video and that I told you about. So it's a wine made out of 85% Merlot and 15% Cabernet Franc. So 25% of the grapes are also nurtured in oak barrels, and the rest of it in inox vats. So it's a perfect association between fruity wines and structure with the wood, but still it's not as powerful as we might believe, and the tannins are really silky. So we believe it can have a great potential to the young generation, and also to the ones that are very attached to having powerful Bordeaux. It's a great bottle we have here. So this has a bit more of a keeping a storage potential, like up to 10 years for the most patient. But for example, I am selling actually 2016, and it's amazing to drink now. 2018 will be available with 2,500 cases, and it will be great also to taste within 2022, sorry, I believe. So yeah, it's here is the bottle. It's a kind of a modern label that we have here also, and we can find Sequoia again on the label. And the appellation is Bordeaux Supérieur, so a bit more concentrated. L'éveil d'essence. L'éveil d'essence is really, I didn't put the name of the wines here, but I should have. L'éveil d'essence is our high range wine. We only produce 250 cases, so I like to say that it's the label collector's bottle. It's a very high-end wine. We selected manually the grapes, and we only produce it over 1 hectare of vines, and we go below 40 hectoliter per hectare, so it's really concentrated, and we put 100% of the grapes within barrels. So here we have a high-end Saint-Émilion Bordeaux wine profile. If you might know what I mean by this. It's a wine made for special occasions. The bottle also is a little bit heavier, and the label is also premiumized compared to the other ones. It's a wine that got us 90 points Wine Enthusiast in 2016, and we are waiting for the results on the new vintage which is 2018. Florian decided not to make any Château Ferrat l'Éveil d'Essence in 2017 because it's been a quite complicated year, and on the plots that he usually selects for this wine, which are the more aged plots. Unfortunately, there has been some freeze, so he decided not to make any and to wait for the year after, which was a great vintage. So it's better that way. So I've been presenting you the classical range of Château Ferrat, historical one. Now I am going to talk about our novelty and go maybe further in the future. I'm going to tell you about Le Petit Bouchon, which is a very original sulfate-free range that we designed together with Florian. Florian already works with sulfite, with a level of sulfites that are really low. Within all of his wines, even lower than what organic farming requests and stuff. So yeah, he is really used to that. So I told him in 2019 that for that vintage, he should think of pushing it further and making something very original. And I told him about the sulfate-free tendency. That was really a thing here in France and abroad. And he took the challenge, and we created together Le Petit Bouchon, which is a very original bottle that you have here now in 3 colors for the 2020 vintage. So Le Petit Bouchon is a bottle the bottle size is from Burgundy, is Burgundy style. And the label is really original. We made an avatar of the winemaker here, so he really looks like this. And we decided to keep Bordeaux on the label, even if it doesn't taste like one, because we are really, how can I say, we are really, changing the way of making it. He pays a lot of attention in the cellar to make this wine because it shall never be in contact with, or very low, with oxygen. So he does it in vats, and he pays a lot of attention to that. And to embottle it, we use azote. So with a year of background now with Le Petit Bouchon. So this one is the vintage 2019, and I taste it regularly. I have to say, it is really stable. So it was the objective. We know about natural wine that develop Brettanomyces bruxellensis, which is the wrong molecule to have. Yeah, nitrate, thank you very much. We know about those deviants that might exist within natural cuvée, and Florian really wanted to avoid it because himself he's not a fan. Being an enologist, he's really precise on his work, and the challenge is really successful with this one. So for 2020, he used the Sémillon plots we have and the Sauvignon to create a white one that is really really original. When I made a blind tasting test with my friends and people from the industry, no one could tell me that it was from Bordeaux. It has some stone fruits aromas, and it's really delicious, and pastry notes because we make malolactic on this one, and a French attack, a franc one, and pear and citrus zest flavor. So yeah, what we are expecting from a friendly wine that we want to open for an aperitif, for example, and with friends. And finally, the rosé was really one of a challenge because he wanted to get the perfect color so that it's not too colorful, because people usually like rosé from Provence. So we managed to get a really delicate pink dress. It's 100% Merlot, so very fruity strawberry and cranberry aromas also, with a frank attack. And there is this sweetness and richness sensation on the mouth, which is also typical of Lees aging. So Lee aging for the white and the rosé. As you can see, I have few cases available for those 3 wines. But if it works well, we'll grow more and more. But for now, yeah, for the second year, it's still a year that we need to catch the attention of the future buyers and of the market and see if the response is really positive. But I believe it's a great range of wines that answers to the actual tendencies. So this is what we do at Chateau Ferrer. I could tell you more about our marketing support that we make. I am always available to work and answer our clients. We are very open to private labels also. It's easy for us to make so. And we support with sales, with social media content, and any marketing content we can create and make it with pleasure, because both Florian and I like it, and we like to stay in touch with all of our customers to discuss about what could be improved or changed or pushed further with our range of wines. So yeah, that makes us really accessible and open to work with the US and Canada here today, which is the topic. So we are ready to open this market with you. Do not hesitate to contact us if any inquiry or further information needed. And meanwhile, if you have any question, just tell me. Maybe I've forgot some stuffs, but it was a pleasure to present you Chateau Ferrer and Florian Bouchon's work.
Super.
Thank you.
Merci.
Nice presentation.
Thank you so much, Caroline.
Bonjour,
Yes.
Pascal. Merci beaucoup. Si vous avez des questions, n'hésitez pas. Je ne sais pas où est-ce qu'on en est dans le timing. I don't know.
It's okay. We have 3 minutes left, which is
Good.
perfect.
Erin,
And I have a question, and it was regarding your idea of getting out of the Place de Bordeaux. Isn't there a risk of blackmailing? How do you feel about the future of this Place de Bordeaux?
Myself, I wouldn't precisely go into that subject, but I really believe that La Place de Bordeaux is a great and very ingenious way of working, and they have a great advantage with the Grand Cru Classé and the high range wine here in Bordeaux. And without them, I think it would be complicated for any high-end estate to work. But with our pricing strategy that is lower, we don't fear of the speculation, because I hardly believe there will be speculation. So the future is to, I don't know, they have a very strong sales force, and we are trying to make as good as them, but to our scale. So it's
Perfect, thank you. And do we have more questions from the audience? No.
But
so far it's okay. Everything was so clear. So
thank you very much.
So
cheers to the winemakers that are here listening to us also. I hope that the trade fair went well for them. And thank you, Pascal, Odile, Hugo, and Geoffrey for your hard work.
You're very welcome. Thank you very much.
Of course.
So, go ahead.
I just said, of course, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. À bientôt, everybody.
Au revoir, Odile.
Au revoir.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.